Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. So with awards season picking up and us seeing the nominations for certain circuits like the Critics' Choice and Golden Globes, I thought it'd be fun today to kind of go through and see what the odds and rankings are for some of the acting categories, or I guess all the acting categories, director, and then Best Picture. I'm only keeping it to those 6 categories because if we talk about everything else, we're gonna be sitting here for a long time. But if you want me to go through the technical awards, please let me know down in the comments. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get to it with Best Supporting Actor. Okay, so as of right now, Robert Downey Jr. is sitting in the number 1 spot for Best Supporting Actor, followed by Robert De Niro, Mark Ruffalo, Ryan Gosling, and then Charles Melton for May December. And then on the outside looking in, we have Willem Dafoe, Sterling K. Brown, Coleman Domingo, and then it has Dominic Sessa and Glenn Howerton here with 100-1 odds. I think Dominic Sessa has a better chance than that for the holdovers. He is definitely kind of an outsider here, but you know, the Academy usually does something pretty tricky with at least one of the acting nods. I forget the name of the actress last year, but in the Best Actress category, no one really saw that coming. But for this one, it checks out for me. I mean, for me, the 3 surefire nominees are going to be Robert Downey Jr., Robert De Niro, and Ryan Gosling. Those guys are definitely getting nominated. Originally, I would have had Mark Ruffalo a tier below them, but he's been getting nominations across the board, and now that I've actually seen Poor Things, I would assume he's getting nominated. He's doing stuff that he has never done before on camera. He is hilarious in the movie. He takes a lot of real chances, so I can absolutely see him being nominated. I haven't had a chance to see May December yet, but it does look like Charles Melton is getting nominated across the board. I still need to watch that movie. I'm sure this isn't the last time I'm going to talk about it here in this video with Julianne Moore, Natalie Portman getting nominated in certain circles. So for now, he seems like a good number 5. Willem Dafoe, if they pick a performance from Poor Things to represent here, it's going to be Mark Ruffalo, and to me, that checks out. Mark Ruffalo is the better performance, but Willem Dafoe, he's no slouch. He's really good in the movie. He's working with prosthetics. So if he ended up seeing a nomination here, I could see it. To me, Sterling K. Brown was good in American Fiction. Was he Academy Award nomination worthy? No, he wasn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was really good, but I just don't see it personally. Coleman Domingo, I haven't seen The Color Purple yet, but he's having a killer year between that and Rustin. I'm sure we'll talk about him in the Best Actor category here soon. You know, if I had any say in this, I would nominate Glenn Howerton for Blackberry, okay? He was lights out, incredible in that movie. One of the best performances of the year, in my opinion. But it just looks like it's not going to happen. The movie's too small, and he's going up against juggernauts here. But, you know, they have Robert Downey Jr. winning right now, and he was excellent in Oppenheimer. But for me personally, I would give the award to Robert De Niro. He just had a bone-chilling performance. I never doubted for a second that he was an evil man in that movie, and I just thought he absolutely crushed it. But yeah, that's everything that I had for Best Supporting Actor, so let's go ahead and move on to Best Supporting Actress. Okay, with Best Supporting Actress, we have got Da'Vine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, Emily Blunt Oppenheimer, Julianne Moore May December, and then Jodie Foster Nyad. I'm not going to have a ton to say about this category because I haven't seen a majority of these movies. First off, let me get this out of the way. I have not seen The Holdovers yet. I know, I need to go see it. It just wasn't playing at a convenient time for me whenever I could actually go see it. I do want to see it before the Academy Awards. I'm sure it's going to be made available again in one way or another. I'm very disappointed, but it does appear like this is Da'Vine Joy Randolph's award to lose. She's winning everywhere. She's not just getting nominated, she is winning awards across the board. And for a long time, it seemed like this was going to be Danielle Brooks' award. You know, it's the big supporting musical role. She's going to be having a lot of big scenes in The Color Purple. But for some reason, like, Da'Vine Joy Randolph just has all of the momentum. And Danielle Brooks, while I do believe that she's being nominated, again, I haven't seen The Color Purple, but by all accounts, she's great in the movie. She's getting nominated everywhere. So she probably will be nominated, but I would say it's Divine Joy Randolph right now. A lot can change between now and March during the actual award ceremony, so we'll just have to wait and see. I am very pro Emily Blunt getting nominated here for Oppenheimer. I thought that she was great in the movie. She is someone that I could see the Academy snubbing because she is not the best performance in the movie. Like, she is very much overshadowed by Robert Downey Jr., Cillian Murphy. I do think that she is worthy of being nominated, but that's an outside sneaky snub that I think could potentially happen. But for now, she's getting all the nominations that she needs to get. She's doing a good job. Julianne Moore is a Academy darling. She's getting nominated everywhere right now. She's a former winner. Again, I haven't seen May, December, but by all accounts, she's great. And then I haven't seen Nyad. I had never heard of Nyad until the award season came about. Jodie Foster's been getting nominated in a lot of places, and it seems like the general consensus for the movie is people don't really like it. So for me, it's kind of a head scratcher that she's getting nominated everywhere. That's another performance that I could see maybe getting snubbed. But then on the outside looking in, we have America Ferrera for Barbie, Taraji P. Henson for The Color Purple, whose odds previously were much better, but she has been missing out in a lot of award circuits. So it's kind of looking like for The Color Purple, it's just going to be Danielle Brooks and not Taraji P. Henson. Penelope Cruz for Ferrari, Rosamund Pike for Saltburn. She's great in that movie. I don't know if she's Academy Award worthy, but I think that she's really good in that movie. Rachel McAdams for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I haven't seen it. Sandra Hüller for The Zone of Interest, which I haven't seen The Zone of Interest, but for Anatomy of a Fall, Sandra Hüller is amazing. We're going to talk about her here in a few minutes, but she could be looking at a double nom here. The Academy did that a few years ago with Scarlett Johansson, where they nominated her for Marriage Story in the Best Actress category, and then for Jojo Rabbit in the Best Supporting Actress story. So they're not afraid to nominate an actor twice in the same ceremony. We'll see if they do it here for Hüller. There are plenty of people that I could see moving in and out of this category. Right now, I think the only super safe locks are probably Divine Joy Randolph, Danielle Brooks, and Emily Blunt. Beyond that, a lot can happen between now and the nominations. But okay, let's get to Best Actor. We have, Cillian Murphy, of course, for Oppenheimer, Bradley Cooper, Maestro, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Leonardo DiCaprio, Killers of the Flower Moon, Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction, Coleman Domingo, Andrew Scott, Joaquin Phoenix, kind of are on the outside looking in. Then we got Zac Efron, Barry Keoghan, Teo Yu. Out there are the guys that I think have kind of an outside shot here. For me, there are 4 sure things here. I know for a lot of people it's just 3. But for me, the absolute surefire guys getting nominated here today are Cillian Murphy, Bradley Cooper, Paul Giamatti, and Leonardo DiCaprio. I know a lot of people aren't including Leonardo DiCaprio in their top 5, but look, he is in a movie that's going to get nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Screenplay, among a bunch of technical categories, and he's Leonardo DiCaprio. Come on, guys. He's getting nominated for Killers of the Flower Moon. Let's not pretend like they're going to nominate Andrew Scott over him or Coleman Domingo over him. He's not the one getting swapped out here. If anyone's getting swapped out, it's Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction, which I think Jeffrey Wright is fantastic in American Fiction. It's one of his best performances, in my opinion. But again, I've mentioned it with a couple performances in the past. I think that there are better performances here on this list that move past him. The biggest one is Zac Efron for The Iron Claw. Zac gives his best performance of his entire career here. He completely transforms his body into Kevin Von Erich and is incredible in The Iron Claw. He would be my personal pick there to round out the top 5. Now, I do think Jeffrey Wright is overdue for recognition from the Academy, so if he gets the award nod, I'm okay with that. He is really good in the movie, but in my opinion, there are just better performances out there. We mentioned Coleman Domingo previously in the video. He's in kind of the run for 2 different acting nods, so he could potentially get nominated in 2 different places. Not too sure if it'll happen here. There's a lot of competition going on here. Andrew Scott has been getting his fair share of nominations as well for All of Us Strangers. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix is getting nominated for anything. Napoleon just wasn't as good of a movie as the other movies here on this list. And then Barry Keoghan got like a random Golden Globe nomination, but he hasn't been getting nominated anywhere else, so I don't think that's happening. But really, whenever it comes to winning this thing, it's between Cillian Murphy and Bradley Cooper at this point, and it's two totally different performances. Cillian Murphy would be my own personal choice to win. I say that as someone who hasn't seen Maestro yet, but from everything I've heard about Maestro, Bradley Cooper is certainly incredible in the movie, and he did direct it as well. He's doing the big, showy, facial prosthetics sort of performance that you would see as being worthy of winning an Academy Award. But Cillian Murphy is in one of the biggest movies of the year. He's playing a very subdued man. He has a lot going on under the surface with his performance. He's not very showy, and I think that he is excellent here. He would definitely win in my books. Now, maybe I'll see Maestro and I'll change my mind, but for now, I just need Cillian Murphy to get nominated here. Okay, now let's do Best Actress to round out the acting categories. We have Emma Stone, Poor Things, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, and then Margot Robbie for Barbie. This is a solid top 5 for me. The only movie that I haven't seen here is Maestro with Carey Mulligan, but by all accounts, she's great in the movie. Now, I do think, we see her on the outside here, I do think Greta Lee is gonna sneak in here because Past Lives is probably getting picture. I think it might end up getting director. It's getting foreign language film, and it's getting screenplay. So I do think Greta Lee could bump someone from here. So the question is, who? It's a stacked category this year. It's hard to break into this top 5. Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone should absolutely be nominated here. There's no question about it. They deliver the top 2 actress performances of the year. For me, I don't even know who I want to win between those two. For now, today, my heart would say Lily Gladstone because I want a Montana Kid to win. But Emma Stone is probably better in her respective movie. They're very different roles. It's hard to compare, but whatever. I don't have to make those decisions. So then it becomes a matter of who does Greta Lee bump out between Carey Mulligan, Sandra Hüller, Margot Robbie. I would not bump out Sandra Hüller. Sandra Hüller was incredible in Anatomy of a Fall. Should be a surefire nod here for her, but it may not happen, unfortunately. Margot Robbie was in the biggest movie of the year. She did a lot for that movie behind the scenes, but from a performance standpoint, she's also excellent. Now, I could see the Academy just not nominating her to bump in Greta Lee, which, I can't say that they're wrong to do that, but they're both totally different performances. They're both great. It makes you think that the Academy should expand this to like 6 because there's just so many movies being released this year. I feel like we need to nominate more than 5. There's so many worthy people here. But you got to bump someone out at some point. I'm going to leave Carey Mulligan out of the conversation now in terms of who Greta Lee would bump out here, just because I haven't seen Maestro. But here, other people on the outside looking in are Fantasia for The Color Purple. Apparently, she's great in the movie, so she could definitely, maybe Greta Lee doesn't even make it and Fantasia makes it in. Who knows? It depends on how high the Academy is on The Color Purple. The Color Purple has kind of struggled with the awards lately, but the reviews are coming out, and it's good. At the time of this video, it hasn't been released yet for the general public, so, we'll see. Maybe it can gain some momentum here over the next month. We have Annette Bening for Nyad. I know she's been getting nominated in certain areas, but I just don't see it happening. This category's stacked, especially as someone on the outside looking in. I don't think she stands a chance. We have Natalie Portman for May December. Haven't seen it. Apparently she's good. I need to watch it. Kaylee Spaney for Priscilla was definitely an amazing performance. She was really, really good. But again, this category is really hard to sneak into this year. I just don't think it's going to happen for her quite yet. But with that covered, let's go ahead and get into Best Director here. And of course, we got Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. Now, The Zone of Interest has not been released yet whenever I'm recording this, so I don't know. But by all accounts, it is an amazing movie, and I know the Academy likes to nominate at least one foreign film director, or at least they have been doing that over the last few years. So Jonathan Glazer could definitely be that guy. I think they're going to nominate Celine Song. Everything's kind of working in her favor here. Past Lives is going to get a lot of recognition from the Academy. If I had to choose between her or Justine Triet in terms of like the foreign language film director, I would choose Justine Triet with everything she accomplished there for Anatomy of a Fall. But it just doesn't appear like it's going to happen. I would love it if she got nominated, but I just don't think so. But the top four seem really solid to me. It all makes sense. I think they're all worthy. Chris Nolan should bring home his first directing Oscar. Well, I guess his first Oscar ever, huh? It's kind of crazy to think he hasn't won one, but Oppenheimer is more than worthy of a film for him to win that coveted Oscar for the first time. Martin Scorsese, great work on Killers of the Flower Moon. You got to nominate him. Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. Such a creative achievement there with that movie. He had a lot of things he had to balance there with that film. Totally get that. And it was a great movie. He got the best performances possible out of his actors too. And then Greta Gerwig, just with the fact that she made the Barbie movie that she did, is astounding to me. It is a creative achievement that she did what she did with that movie. And then on the outside looking in, we have, Celine Song, like I mentioned before. We have Alexander Payne for The Holdovers. I need to watch it. I know the Academy loves Alexander Payne, so he may bump out someone here and find himself getting nominated. Bradley Cooper for Maestro, it depends on how high the Academy is for Maestro. They could make peace with him after not nominating him for A Star is Born in the directing category. Still kind of wild to me. That was one of the best movies of 2018. I don't know how you don't nominate Bradley Cooper that year. It just may not work in his favor this year, but we'll see how high they are on Maestro. But let's go ahead and move on to the big award, Best Picture. So far, they have Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, Poor Things, The Holdovers, Maestro, American Fiction, Past Lives, Anatomy of a Fall in the zone of interest. Now, keep in mind, there are absolutely going to be 10 nominees. They made this change, I think, last year or maybe the year before. There is a definitive 10 movie nomination list here. So most of this looks good to me. Oppenheimer's definitely getting nominated. To me, Oppenheimer, Killers, Barbie, Poor Things, Holdovers, Maestro, and honestly, Past Lives are near locks for me. American Fiction is going to get nominated in the screenplay category, but I don't really see it picking up anything for its technicals in the movie or editing, cinematography. So really it's got to hang on screenplay, maybe direction if Cord Jefferson gets nominated. I don't see that happening, but maybe. And then Jeffrey Wright for actor. If Jeffrey Wright doesn't get nominated for Best Actor, I doubt the movie's going to be nominated for Best Picture. It should most definitely get nominated for screenplay, but if actor doesn't happen, I don't really see it. Past Lives, I think that this is just right up the Academy's alley. I think it's going to happen. Now, do they nominate multiple foreign language film movies? I think yes this year. I think Anatomy of a Fall and Zone of Interest do find a way to make it in this year. I've only seen Anatomy of a Fall, but that was just an incredible movie. Zone of Interest, I cannot wait to watch for the first time. Color Purple is in the mix here along with May December, Air, All of Us Strangers. Spider-Verse is a little bit lower than what I would expect here at number 16. I do think that film has a better shot than what they're giving credit for. It is going to get nominated for Best Animated Picture, maybe Best Original Song, maybe it's visual effects in there. So it has a few different awards that it could be nominated for, which is great, especially for an animated film. So I don't know. I think that could sneak its way in there. I don't think May December is getting the momentum that it needs right now for picture in particular. It seems like most of their attention is being shown for Charles Melton or Julianne Moore. I don't really see the movie itself being recognized for a picture. And then Color Purple, like I've said several times in this video, it depends on the momentum it gains after it comes out here. I just don't know yet. And then Air, while I love the movie, I don't think it's getting nominated for Best Picture, okay? So, it's kind of a smaller list here of movies that are in the mix for Best Picture this year. A lot smaller than I think in years past, but hey, I think it's a really, really great list here. But that's everything that I had here for the Academy Awards odds and rankings as they stand today in late December. What do you guys think about this? Did any of the material here surprise you? Let me know, and be sure to subscribe if you enjoy this and you want to see more. Bye, y'all.